Hello everyone, this is Rabab Alma, licensed marriage and family therapist and international life coach. Our topic for today is how to keep your relationship alive. This was suggested by one of the viewers, and I have a couple of other suggestions. So if you need me to address a certain topic, please feel free to email me or to contact me via Messenger or via Facebook or Instagram. And let me know what topics you would like me to discuss. I will be happy to address your interest. So again, the topic for today is how to keep your relationship alive. I will go ahead and share. Assalamu alaikum Tahira, thank you for joining. Thank you, alaikum salam. I will be sharing this live with my other pages, waiting for people to join. Again, the topic for today, how to keep your relationship alive. Let me know what you think of this topic. Let me know if it's something that is hitting home for you and how. I think working on our relationships is something that we all need to pay attention to. I do have some notes here. But before we dive in the practical steps or suggestions to keep a relationship strong and alive, I think it's important to think first about what is the definition of a healthy relationship for you. Let me know what you think. Again, these lives are meant for informational general info only. It's not meant for medical or professional help. If you need a professional help, please seek therapists. You can contact me privately. I will be happy to work with you. But again, these lives are not meant for therapeutic or medical help. So again, the topic for today is how to keep your relationship alive. And I started by saying that it's important to define for yourself, how does a healthy relationship, how does it look like for you? What do you want out of this relationship? And by the way, although when we talk about relationships, we talk about a spousal relationship, but actually we can apply a lot of aspects of that on a different type of relationships we have. Friendships. So for instance, she is my friend. Why she's my friend? Why I want her to be my inner circle? What's the common aspect between me and her? What do I Tahira said communication. Rima said thanks for sharing. Thank you for joining, Rima. Communication is important and can be a very broad concept, if you will. So people can communicate, but sometimes people think they are communicating, but technically they are not. Or they are communicating, but not fully. Or communicating, but they are not trying, they cannot communicate what really bothers them. They communicate what bothers them on the surface, but they never go deep. And going deep in any relationship requires two people. They are willing to go deep together. I cannot go deep if you are not a recipient to my depth, because I will encounter a wall. So it's two-way street. So first we want to define what do I want from this relationship. Adil says hello. Thank you for joining, Adil. So what do I want from this relationship? Whether if it's marital relationship, friendship, whatever it is, even the relationship between the siblings. What do I want from this relationship? Do I want it to be deep? Do I want it to stay in the surface? What do I want from this relationship? So define that for yourself, and then find a way and think about, is the other person willing to go that deep with you? And if it's yes or no, what are you going to do about it? Simple. Is this enough for you? And how are you gonna manage that? Different things means different different topics means different things for various cultures. In some cultures, people are really willing to speak about their emotions to the depth, wherever they feel they will just spit it out and talk about it. But some cultures, they don't, especially if we are talking about a relationship with an elderly, for instance, or an authority or a parent, that any disagreement is considered to be disrespectful. So we need to take that in consideration. And we cannot just force, I cannot just force what I think is healthy on a client. I mean, I think I need to meet the person where they are at. What's healthy for them, not what I think is healthy. So what's healthy for you? What do you want? What are you aspiring for in a relationship? What do you want to achieve? What kind of fluidity do you want to have between you and the person that you are having an encounter with? So it's important to think about that. It's important to think about, are you willing to share yourself the way you are? The core of you, your core. Are you willing to be that person who can really be open? I remember when we were growing up, we will be like, and this is how people were like raised, that you just don't disagree. You don't say no. You don't wanna. You don't say I don't like this. You just take it and be quiet about it. And while raising my own daughter, I try to avoid this. I want her to be someone who is open, someone who can tell me, no, I don't want this, or I don't like that, or this does not work for me, and why you're doing this. I want her to express her feeling. Assalamu alaikum Kolmaki. Thank you for alaikum salam. Thank you for joining. So I want her to experience this. I want her to be herself. I don't want her to sit with me pretending that she is okay and everything, and she's acting according what she thinks I want to be present. No. I want her to be her, regardless. Because I want her to have this comfort zone. And when she comes, or when she's home, she is home. She let her guards down. So what is it that you want from the relationship for you and for the other person? Are you able to be yourself? Are you able to let your guard down? Are you able to communicate who you are? Genuinely. Are you able to do that? And if not, why not? And how are you going to go about it? I think sometimes therapy, I would say therapy helps. Not because I am a therapist, but because therapy helped me throughout the years. I have been in therapy for the longest time myself. And therapy does not mean that you need to wait until you are in crisis to go to therapy, because sometimes people come to therapy for crisis and it's too late. It's too late. Things are already been going on for years and years, and they don't go about resolving them. And sometimes you get to a point of no return. You suddenly are surprised by the other person's decision, or your own decision, that you cannot continue. Because relationships, like anything else, we need to work on. We cannot just sit back and rely on once we were in love and it's going to continue, or once we were in like a really close and it's going to continue like that forever. Nothing continues forever. Nothing in life continues forever. If we want a relationship to continue, we need to work on it. And we need to be intentional. We need to actually put these tiny deposits every day in order to grow that account. Your account in the bank does not grow on its own. Well, some people use interest, I don't, but anyway, this is another story. But you need to keep adding in order to reach that goal of a certain level, or a certain balance, if you will, you know? So, are you contributing to your account balance, of your relationship account balance. So if you are not doing that, then it's going to decline. It is going to decline. And the contribution needs to be done from both parties. And if you feel that you are not happy or there's something needs to be addressed, you need to address it. Because if you don't address it, then it's going to exacerbate, and it's going to be complex, and it's going to be a real problem, and you might hit a crisis. Sometimes people address problems, but the other party doesn't listen. Then it's your turn to decide, do you want to continue or not? Are you happy or not? I think we deserve to be happy. We deserve to be, so let me see what komak said. Sometimes it is one way, meaning one person is working on improving the relationship and the other does not put any effort. Oh, okay, that's an issue. That's an issue. When someone is continuously putting deposits into this relationship bank account and the other person is not, then it's not mutual. There is no mutual interaction. The problem is every time that one person contributes, then and you don't see reciprocation, then you will feel empty. You will feel empty. You will feel disregarded. You will feel isolated. It's like feeling lonely while you are in a relationship. So. And the difference between lonely and alone it's another subject, but I think if I am in a relationship, then I want to be fulfilled emotionally, and if you want to be fulfilled, your needs need to be fulfilled, whatever needs you want from this relationship. So I think we need to take a step back and take a look of what we have, what we want to achieve, and are we able to reach that goal or not, and what we're going to do about it. And I know it's much more complex than this, because it's not about, especially if you are in a marital relationship, you have family, children, there are a lot of complexities. You cannot just say, oh, okay, you're not giving me my needs, bye. It's not that easy. It's complicated, but I think it's important to know where you want to be, when and how. Do you see yourself in this relationship in 10 years or not? And if not, so what are you going to do about it? And how are you going to prepare yourself for that? So we don't want to be blindsided, okay? We want to know exactly what we are doing, what kind of a path we are taking, where we're going, so there is no surprises. You're in your planning. If it's okay, if what's happening is okay for you, that's fine. I mean, no problem. But if there are symptoms and you see that there are some inconveniences and you are not happy, then you want to take a look at it. And if the other person is not receptive to your ideas and to your feelings, then you want to maybe have a conversation between you and yourself, or maybe between you and your therapist, and see how I'm going to tackle this, how I'm going to really handle this and manage it. So I think we are worth you're worth to be a priority in your own life. Your happiness and your satisfaction is worth being a priority. Sometimes we don't really think about that. We don't really think that it's selfish. No, it's not selfish. There are a lot of books, a lot of self-help books, even in the religious books, they were talking about always take care of the self, go and look and read again. So taking care of yourself, because you are responsible for your own self, no one else. And we are responsible for our own happiness, no one else. Happiness is different, means different things to different people at different stages of life. Maybe when we are, like in my age now, maybe a lot of people around my age would like to have this fulfilling relationship, this deep relationship, that deep conversations, like I'm with a friend or someone that I get the best out of them and they get the best out of me. Someone who has your best interest in their heart and you have the same for them. Someone that you feel that you are comfortable, safe, not judged. That's important, and I think we all deserve to have that. So if you want that and you're not having it, why? And what are you going to do about it? And what is your breaking point? And what's your plan? What's the plan? I think it's important also to take a look at ourselves and take ownership of our own feelings and emotions, and think about what is it that you are responsible for fulfilling versus what you want to be fulfilled within the relationship. So if someone is always miserable, then, or feeling down, there's something to be addressed on the individual level. So there are some issues to be addressed on the individual level and some issues to be addressed within the relationship. And a therapist can help doing that. So there are certain needs I would like to be fulfilled by my partner, but there are certain stuff or certain feelings or certain needs or certain achievements. No one can do it for me. I need to do it for my own self. Self-actualization, growth, fulfillment on the personal level, that I am responsible for that, not someone else. So do you have this distinction? Do you know the difference? It's important to understand this, so we don't mix it. We don't project. We don't want to project what we are feeling from past experiences or childhood experiences on our spouse, our partner. And if you are, then you need to seek some help and support and professional help. Because if you're feeling down or if you're feeling a certain way because of you being triggered, or there are certain unresolved issues that you never worked on, this needs to be addressed on the individual level. The childhood issues, the teenage issues, the parenting issues that you had with your parents, that we all have, those are individual issues. Well, your partner can be part of it, as like he or she understands where you're coming from. You know, that's okay. But you need to do the work. You know, if someone has a difficult relationship with their father or their mother, and then they are trying to seek that fulfillment from their spouse, the spouse cannot be a father. Like sometimes people will think like, this is my husband, this is my wife, she's gonna be everything for me. No one can be everything to anyone. No one. This is your spouse, not your mother, not your father. So if you have issues in this department, that needs to be addressed. Razir Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. Thank you for joining. Thank you. So if we have issues with our own issues, this needs to be addressed. This needs to be addressed separately. But if we have issues within the relationship, then this needs to be addressed within the relationship and within the family. So if you have any comments about that, let me know. You can just put your comments in the comment section. I will be happy to address them. So I've gathered some information or some points about what kind of small deposits that you can do on a daily basis in order to nourish this relationship between you and your spouse, and to kind of like add little Halima is watching. Thank you for joining, Halima. So in order to keep this relationship alive, you know, if you have a plant in the house, you need to water it maybe every day or every other day. So you need to take care of it. If you left it without being cared for and it does not really see the sun, then it's gonna die. And this applies to everything in life: the growth, the your self-actualization, a relationship with the spouse, relationship with the children, anything in life, even at work, anything that we do not really invest in terms of intention, goals, aspirations, plans, steps, then we're gonna see the results that something's gonna go off, because we always need to work at things. So some little things you can do with your partner or your spouse on a daily basis You can laugh and play together. You can do some activities that both of you like. You can try new things together. It's like sometimes when we go on with life and we kind of like get into the routine and forget, and you know, we don't try new things. We don't want to go into try any adventure or taking any risk. I think taking a risk together and doing stuff, new stuff together, can be helpful for any relationship. Like go to Disneyland, even if you're older. Go hiking. Do something. Even the way you express love to each other. Try something new. Razia said, true, I agree with Golmaki. Tired of trying over the years. Yeah, so then if you're trying over the years on your own and is not being reciprocated, I think it's a time to go to therapy. It's time to see a professional. It's time to address these issues together as a couple. If you are sometimes the way we try is turning the other person off. Did you visit how you are trying? Did you visit your approach? Did you sometimes the way we are envisioning things is really reflecting on how things are going. I think taking a step back and try to look at it from fresh eyes can give you a different perspective. So a therapist can help with that, definitely. Cultivate gratitude. So sometimes we focus on the negative side. Like for instance, if you have maybe 20% of the relationship, you're having trouble with 20% of the relationship, but 80% is working. So sometimes as a human being, we tend to focus sometimes on the negative part. Tahira said, the approach that is made, how is it made? I'm not sure of what you are asking. Yeah, can you elaborate, Tahira? So cultivate gratitude. So when we talk about gratitude, do we appreciate each other on the positive thing that's happening? Do we really have that sense of gratitude about the 80% of your relationship that is working? Or we're only focused on the 20% that's not working? What is it? Celebrate triumphs. So, excuse me. So when your partner is going through hard time, what do? Do you support them? Do they support you? Do you go through that together? Do you feel that you are supporting but they are not? And why is that? I think it's important to take a look and really think about it and see, why is that? Are you giving too much? Are you forgetting yourself? Are you giving too much? Are we distinguishing between the I and the we? There is always this difficulty sometimes balancing the I and the we within a relationship. So sometimes we get sucked in a relationship when we forget about ourselves. So are you burnout? Do you take time for yourself? Do you take care of yourself? Emotionally, physically, spiritually, on all aspects. Do you do that? When we are, so there is always this conflict, or not conflict, there is always this thing going on between being autonomous and together. And it's always that sticky balance. Are we having more of togetherness or more autonomy? Are we able to reach that balance? Are you taking care of yourself within the relationship? Are you waiting for your spouse to take care of you? Are you taking ownership of your own feelings and your own needs as a person? That's something to look at. So, can you surprise your partner with something? Do you act out of the norm sometimes? Some jokes, it's like sometimes like partners, like they can throughout the day, instead of like it's dead silence unless there is a crisis or something, or someone is coming to fix something in the house. Do you text each other? Do you communicate with each other during the day? Do you have your inside jokes? Do you create this anticipation until you meet at night and you have your own intimate time? Do you do that throughout the day or not? That can help. You definitely need to carve time out together, alone. Not with the family, not with the kids, not with the extended families, the in-laws. No, you need some time just for yourself. And not to talk about finances and what the children are doing or not doing. No, talking about you, the connection between the two of you, that you love them and they love you. Even if you have problems, I'm not saying that you don't have problems. Can we just freeze these problems for a second and just enjoy having a company, someone that I can love and love me back? Can you separate? Can you separate and then kind of nourish this part that's not being nourished? And then this kind of gives some a pathway maybe to discuss other issues, but later on. Can you separate? Can you put things in compartments and enjoy each other company to actually invest on that positive part that you both enjoy in the relationship? Because I don't think there is a relationship that's 100% bad or 100% good. There are always issues. There are always issues. Can you write down those issues that you like to about your partner and you enjoy? And you can write down the stuff that you don't like about them and compare between the two sides and see. You can discuss also what are like things that they are deal breakers for you. Some people have certain deal breakers, and maybe they knew about them before marriage or before being together or not. Okay, so there are certain deal breakers. If you really think that there's a deal breaker you cannot continue, then what are you going to do about it? If you think that the positive side between you and your partner, you have a lot of positivity and you're focusing on the negative, so maybe you will shift the focus and shift your mindset, if you will. When was the last time you had a date with your partner, husband, whatever, spouse, wife? When was the last time you had a date with them? What did you do? How did you feel? Did you enjoy it? Did you repeat it? Was it years back? Why did you not do it again? You were busy? Well, we can be busy, but still carve out some time to enjoy each other. Can we do that? Can you do that? Can you think about that in a different light? Maybe sometimes you can take a class together. So you are working on yourself and your development and your professional development, and then maybe you can include them with you. Maybe sometimes there are these classes about relationships that you can attend together. Gottman Institute, I will go for training with them in March, so in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited for that, but I will go as a clinician. But there are groups or there are trainings for the public. Have you thought of taking a class together about relationships? Is this an idea that you can entertain with your husband, with your spouse, with your wife? Do you talk about your aspirations and dreams with your spouse? What do you want to do in the next 5 years? Even if it's just a dream, do you share your dreams? Do you do chores together? The chores in the house? Like sometimes let's cook together. Is it something that you can do? And don't think about the cleaning and the stuff. Just preparing together and eating together. How about grudges? The past that we hold on to. That's something to look at and seek help for. Because if we keep grudges, if we're keeping that for a very long time, that will destroy a relationship. So are you willing to forgive? Are you willing to forgive yourself? Are you willing to forgive your partner? And forgiving does not mean forgetting. If you think this relationship can work, and your partner is willing to work with you, are you willing to forgive what happened in the past? Have a conversation, seek therapy, seek help, and move forward. Do whatever it takes. Relationships last when we have two people that they did not give up on each other. It's not because they don't have problems. I think having arguments in a relationship is healthy. But what do we do about this argument? So these are things to think about. Be intimate. Intimacy does not mean just physical intimacy and having sex. No. Being intimate is also about having this spiritual connection, these deep conversations that I can touch your soul and you can touch mine. You move my heart and I move yours. I have this telepathy between you and I. Do you have that with your spouse? Do you want to have that with your spouse? How are you going to do it? So, at the end of this life, I would like you to write down the things that you like about your relationship and the things you don't like about your relationships, and compare the two and see which one is longer. Okay? And then I want you to write your contribution to these things that you don't like. Write down the things that you contribute. Of course, they contribute, because in any relationship, both people are contributing to whatever dynamic is happening. What is your contribution? And what are you going to do about your part? Because, if we change the input, the output will change. So, what is it that you're going to do about your own part, about your 50%? What are you going to do in this relationship in order to better the interaction between you and your spouse? Start with yourself. Focus on you. See what you can do. And then once you shift your mindset and you shift your interaction and start you, aside from them, something is going to shift in the relationship. Let me know what you think of this. Excuse me. Let me know if you like this topic. Let me know if you would like me to talk about other topics. You can write them in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. If you like this video, please hit like, share, and I will download it on YouTube so you can subscribe and watch there. You can connect with me via Facebook, via Instagram. You can email me, you can call me. I have my website on Facebook, so I'm reachable. You can reach me anytime, and I will be happy to connect with you. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.